And thanks everybody for attending and for giving us a platform to show our film to this important audience. When we started making the film in 2015, there were 4 things that we were focusing on. Of course, Setsuko's life and how she grew over the years into the global figure and force that she is now for nuclear disarmament. Also that year, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty was meeting, which only meets every 5 years, so we were focusing on that. It was the year of the 70th anniversary, and also Setsuko and the Hibakusha had been nominated for Nobel Peace Prize. But as we began to dig into the background of the movement, which at that point, I must be honest, I didn't know that much about, we began to understand more deeply the story that we were going to tell. And that's when we began to see how crucial doctors have been to the movement. The International Red Cross, Red Crescent, IPPNW, of course, which is founded by Ira Helfand, who's in our film, and Tillman Ross, and Doctors for Social Responsibility, and on and on. And at that point, that's when we realized how meaningful the role of Mitchie's grandfather, who was the first, among the first medical professionals who had to deal with the horrors of of what happened when a nuclear weapon was dropped, how to deal with that crisis, and how much that story fit into the story that we were going to tell. And now I'm going to let Mitchie continue with that. Thank you.
Well, first of all, good morning, everyone. And I am so moved and touched to be with you. Please don't tell anybody. But if I can choose any organization that I really love the most, except Hibakusha Stories, is IPPNW. I'm a fan. First of all, I came into this movement rather later in my life, thanks to Setsuko-san and Catherine-san. I'm going to talk about more like my personal story as a background. I grew up, I'm from Hiroshima, and my family survived the atomic bomb. I grew up in a very medical family. I love doctors. My grandfather was a military surgeon. He was at the severe war front in China at the time of China-Japan War in 1930s. And then he came to Hiroshima to head the Red Cross Hospital. Then here's my father, who was an oncological surgeon. Then I have 3 brothers who are all doctors. I'm really trying to promote at least one of my brothers would join IPPNW. Give me some time. And I can say, growing up, I was surrounded by doctors. As I recall, my parents, when I was a little girl, my parents used to host the doctors' study meetings at our home in Hiroshima. And the meeting discussion was followed by dinner and friendly, active drinking. 8 to 10 doctors were at my home every month. And they spent a few hours discussing seriously. As a young child, I was so excited about all these cool doctors coming to my home. It seemed like such a special occasion. I was in and out of the room, even though I was discouraged not to disturb the meeting. Later in my life, I learned that these are the meetings where the doctors got together to exchange information about what they encountered with the patient's various symptoms. We are talking about 1960s. They are gathering the information as they were treating patients in Hiroshima. Of course, many of the patients survived the atomic bomb. Some of these doctors were also personally very dedicated for helping Hibakusha. Yes, they were activists. One of them, Dr. Torataro Kawamura, he was a physician, financed Hibakusha from Korea to come to Hiroshima. After the war was over, a number of fourth Koreans who had to live in Japan went back to Korea, where there was no special treatment in relation to radiation of the atomic bombs. So Dr. Kawamura invited these Korean survivors, let them stay in his practice for free, and treated them for over the years for free. There was another doctor, Dr. Tomi Harada. He was a surgeon who was in charge of Hiroshima Maidens project. He chose and sent off the severely burned and disfigured young women to get more advanced plastic surgery in the United States. It's quite a well-known project. He also founded World Friendship Center with an American Quaker woman whose name was Barbara Reynolds, a drop-in community center where foreigners could go and visit to find out about what has happened in Hiroshima and have opportunity to exchange opinions between Hiroshima natives and foreign visitors. As you can see, doctors have been so critical in both understanding and advancing treatment of Hibakusha. I was so lucky to be surrounded by these doctors who are like my uncles, and we used to go up and mount climbing together and so on. And yet my point here is that I had no idea these nice men, at that time, these are all men, unfortunately to say, but these are the men who are really helping patients because they needed to treat them. And today I am with you, young medical professionals. We really need you to carry on the legacy and important work doctors do. And I want to cheer you on, and also I like to work to be a part of your movement. Thank you so much for watching our film, and I can't wait to hear what you thought about it. Thank you.